And welcome back to the We'll Take It From Here podcast. Another week, another episode. However, first, we are going to bring you our show's sponsor, because this episode is brought to you by Honest Supplements. Now, Joe, what's Honest Supplements? Well, let me tell you. In a world that is plagued by new illness outbreak every other day, it's important to keep your body performing at its best with the right vitamins and supplements. However, these products can get expensive, especially with rising prices all around us. Honest Supplements has resolved that problem. They mark up all products by just $1, saving their members an average of 50% per product. Yes, that means that the protein you're paying $60 for is only $30 on their website. They have everything from vitamins, sports supplements, recovery, weight loss, CBD, and so much more. It costs just $10 a month or $99 for the entire year to join the Honest Supplements Club. Timmy and I are both members and can advocate for the amount of money that you will save. And do we also mention that all products are third-party lab tested? Because that's the only true way to prove vitamins and supplements actually contain the ingredients that they claim. Don't wait. Go to Honest Supplements right now to join today and start taking better care of your health. And it's right. If you train jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, or just in the gym, you better be taking Honest Supplements. So go to their website, guys. All right. Now it's time for the show. And welcome back, folks, to We'll Take It From Here. Joe and Timmy, episode 166. What's going on? We are proud Americans with our night helmet. Yeah. And we're here to talk. We're smoking our pipes. No, we're actually smoking pipes. That wasn't figurative for anything. That was literal.
Today's going to be a good one, folks.
It is going to be a good one.
Starting off already.
Good. Welcome back, YouTube.
I'm glad we got that. I went to go pull from my pipe. Yeah, and I went and I put my mouth on the microphone instead. I'm a fucking idiot.
No, you're fine.
Now we got video, and now you can see all the dumb shit I do.
Let's go, baby. You see our handsome faces. What's going on? All right, folks. You know this drill. You listen to the show. It's here to entertain you, make you think. I should probably look at the camera while I'm doing that, not look at my co-host here and my friend. But you're here to show. You listen to a show that's here to make you think and entertain you. We talk about anything and everything. We like to have people on, tell their story. Just BS, and that's it. That's the show. We'll see you next week. I made that joke twice in a row, and or twice in the last 3 weeks. So I won't make it next week. Anyway, here we go. We're today. I think we're just talking. We're just having me and you. We did a poll question about laws that need to be repealed. So we are going to see how that goes. It's probably going to go well. I actually had some good. There was a couple of ones that I was hoping people would say. And one person did say it, and there was a couple of good ones. And then there's one that I thought maybe they just didn't care to comment, but there was one that I thought people would bring up. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'll say it at the end. I don't know if it's an actual law. It was. I think like if it's categorized as a law. Regardless, I'll get into it later. Anyway, let's get to it. But before we get to it, let's smoke these pipes. And how's your week been, bro?
Dude, it's been good. It's been a good week.
Good.
I can't complain. You know, we got some craziness going on with the workforce that I'm in, and
still got a job.
I still got a job right now.
Let's go, baby.
Slowly, information's starting to come out on what the whole process is, what that's looking like. But still confident I have a job, and whatever worst case scenario, there's other jobs out there.
Yeah, but I feel like you're like not in one of these departments that people aren't doing shit, or excuse me, they're not doing shit. You know what I mean? So like, you're actually doing things.
Yeah, and the program I'm on is critical. And our team is pretty lean as it is, so we're not terribly worried. And I'm about to hit 10 years of service. It'll be 7 years consistently. I also interned there through college, so that's where I get the 10 years from.
Do you have like a certain amount of, if you don't know what we're talking about, folks, so without naming where Timmy works for the government.
Yeah.
The federal, right?
Yeah.
Federal government. So with all this stuff going on with like the 5 emails and like, you know, federal government employees losing their jobs. The one thing I want to say about that is you're critical, right? You actually do work. I know who you used to direct to, who we both know we're friends with, right? Won't say his name.
I've said a bunch of times, but we don't need to say it
Yeah,
again.
yeah. You said a bunch of times, just like to keep the privacy. You guys are workhorses. You guys are actually working now. I'm not there seeing
I was
it,
outside
but I can see
in the coldest days of the year.
Yeah,
the
so-
3 coldest days in the year were almost directly in a row, and I was outside. I was outside for 3 days in a row.
Like you gotta there's certain areas what people are like all there, and there was someone else that we train with. That's another one that works with you guys. I don't know if it's on your team, but works in the same
Area.
company area.
Yeah. Say area.
Yeah. And he was nervous. He's like, "Oh, well, I'm like, dude, do you actually like do?" He's like, "Yeah, well, you're actually important. Then you're gonna like the people that they're laying off are. It's just what's inefficient." And the funny thing is, did you see that? Did you see that video of the woman crying about how she's an accountant and she doesn't know where she's going to be able to? She has a kid, a newborn baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was an accountant. She got laid off, a federal government accountant, right? But she got laid off, and now she's trying to be the, oh, woe is me. How am I going to support my kid? It's like, all right, lady, you just completely contradicted yourself because you said that you're an accountant, right? So you know you can work. So if that's the case, then when you get laid off,
Go look for another job.
just go for a private company.
And here's the thing too is, if you look anything more than just service level, they're not letting anyone off or getting rid of people and just kicking them to the curb. They legally can't do that. Yeah. And the thing is, they're actually going above and beyond. There's a whole bunch of different categories of what could happen if your position's eliminated. They may move you to other places. There is people getting laid off, and they're getting severance packages. They're getting paid for X amount of time. They're getting their sick time paid, whatever. There's a bunch of things. They're not just getting kicked to the curb and that's it, and they're not getting any money. Plus, in New Jersey, too, we have unemployment. I think a lot of other states do have that, too. I'm not exactly sure on the details. But with New Jersey, you get unemployment. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's coming through. So if that's the case, I do get laid off. I have a good friend of mine. His wife's a recruiter for engineers, so I'll find another job.
Okay, yeah, you're fine.
Whatever.
I think you're gonna be fine. Anyway.
Worst case scenario, I'll just start sucking dick on the streets. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, people.
Oh,
That's illegal.
So what we got to do is for YouTube's sake. Once we start to get to the amount of point like that where we can start to monetize, then we're gonna have to learn how to do the
bleeps.
The bleeps. But for now, since we're not getting monetized, because I think even you need like 1,000. Like we don't have that yet. I think you need like a certain amount of criteria, a certain amount of hours to get monetized, so we can start cursing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
or start covering up for curses.
Yes, covering up the curses.
Yeah, but that's a good segue into our next bit of stupid laws that we should get rid of.
Yes, so that was the theme. We did the Instagram question of what are some useless what was it? Inefficient laws that should be repealed.
I don't know exactly the wording, but the whole thought process is there's a lot of stuff coming out. Back to the conversation with Doge, is government inefficiencies, and there are so many laws on the books, right, that we have. And they're constantly trying to add more and more and more. Mm-hmm. And let's just take an example of gun laws, right? There's a lot already out there. And people talk about adding stuff, and then they don't even realize those are already laws in place, right? Mm-hmm. Like, in New Jersey, to get a firearm, you have to get your firearms ID card. That's for anything, a rifle, pistol, anything. And then if you want a pistol, you have to get a pistol purchasing permit. So, when you get your firearms ID card, you have to get fingerprinted and background checked. Then when you go buy any weapon, you get background checked again. Okay, if you're getting a pistol, you have to file for a pistol purchasing permit. You can do that at the same time as your FID card, but if you already have one, so you have to go and get fingerprinted and background checked again to get that permit. And then once you go buy the pistol, you have to then get background checked a third time. Mm-hmm. So people say you need background checks. They're already in place. They're already there. But the whole point with this is people want to add more laws. There needs to be a way to grade or judge, is that law actually doing what the purpose of it is?
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Like, I don't know what a good example of this is, but like, here's a perfect oxymoron, right? So, New Jersey, we have a seatbelt law. You have to wear your seatbelt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I can ride a motorcycle?
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense.
Explain that to me, because I'm wearing a helmet that counts. None of it makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense, dude.
I have to I have to wear a seatbelt, but I can be in a vehicle with 2 wheels and nothing protects me from another vehicle.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's like a thing too with like the seatbelts, like no, it's definitely a law. There was something I don't remember. I don't want to speak to it if I'm not being accurate. But it's like some sort of law. I don't know. But that's a good point. I think isn't that like so? Or don't they say it's because if you're on a motorcycle and you do crash, they want to have the ability to go off. You want to be able to separate yourself from the bike. But it's like when you're going 60, 70, 80 miles per hour, you're fucked anyway.
There's gonna be no seatbelt for a bike. But my whole point is like I don't understand.
No, it's
completely convoluted. There's no consistency with that logic. So that's the whole thought process of this, and we wanted everyone's opinions on what they thought they want to get rid of.
So we'll start it out here. Actually, I'm going to go a little out. I usually like to go in order, but I'm going to go out of order because you brought up the guns with the permits, which, by the way, is true. If you want, here in New Jersey, if you want to get a gun, you got to get your permit. You got to do a background check with the FBI and your local police departments, wherever you lived in the past 10 years, and then you get your pistol permit. And then after that, you buy your first pistol. If you have to wait, 30 days again, right? Or is it 3 months? Is it 30 or 90 days?
30 days.
30 days, and then you have to do that same process, not get the FID. You have to then do the same application, do 2 references, and then go to your local police departments in the past 10 years, and then they have to do that and approve you and you get a gun. It's not as easy as just going in and buying a gun. Now, here's one. Gun-free zones. That's the first one we'll start off with. What's your take on that?
Well, I think we need to distinguish between gun-free public and gun-free private. If it's a private place, they're at liberty to do whatever they want. It's private property. The only thing now, because the whole Bruin versus New York, I think, was the case that basically constitutionally told every state that they have to allow concealed carry, which is why I have my concealed carry now. We're back 5 years ago, something like that.
About to get mine. I've been waiting on that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have. I'm getting mine.
Hop on that shit. I'm about to hit my renewal.
Nice.
But before that, it was like you have to had a justification why you needed concealed carry. Now it's shall not. There's a distinguishing term between it's may versus shall. They shall
be infringed.
Yeah. Well, they may issue one means they may. They don't. It's not required. They shall. They have to do it unless you don't meet the criteria. So back, what was the original question?
Gun-free zones. That's the first line, yeah.
So, but the problem is with the concealed carry, right? There's gun-free zones in public places, even regardless of what it is. If it's a gun-free zone, it needs to be labeled properly, right? You can't just have a private property and there's no gun-free zone signs, and then they call the cops on you because you have a gun. So that's fine. They can still tell you to leave, but you can't be criminally charged because you have a gun on you.
Well, here's the thing about gun-free zones, and this is where I think I know this person very well, so this is where I know he's going with it, is the stupidity behind gun-free zones. So schools are gun-free zones, right? But why are schools gun-free zones? That's where the school shootings happen. And the school shootings, by the way, are not the gun's fault. Every fucking school shooter that is always on the FBI watch list. Go figure.
There is statistically almost guaranteed to be on the FBI watch list and also on some kind of psychotic drug.
Yep, exactly. But the point is, when you have these gun-free zones, right, like public schools or anywhere, that's where the criminals know. Dude, the criminals know that's where they can criminals aren't going to follow laws, right? There's laws, criminals break them. That's why they are a criminal.
That is the definition of a criminal.
It's one who breaks the law. So when criminals know that they can go in and where there's a crime-free zone, they know they're not going to have any resistance. Now, I think I mentioned this on the podcast. There's a very good YouTube channel. It's actually very fascinating. His name's Aaron S., right? And his name is Aaron Sig, but it's like Aaron Taboo with Aaron S. or something, Aaron S. Taboo. He literally is a dude from London. I think he grew up in a rough neighborhood in London. Can't confirm that. He's actually really good at jiu-jitsu. Side note. He goes to the worst hoods in America, and he will schedule interviews. It's like he interviews the gangsters, like gangbangers.
Was this guy Rogan?
I don't know if he was or not.
Okay.
He might have been. I don't know. He's got a very popular YouTube channel.
There's one guy that was on Rogan that goes around interviewing, usually in the slums. I think he does more of the drug addicts, though. Got
it. Okay. This may or may not be him. I'm not sure. But he'll interview opposite gangs, okay? And then in the same video. It's fucking crazy. There was one thing that happened. He went to the Bronx in New York. And he was asking something about the shootings or the robberies that go on. And one of the gang members, right, of this hood said something. And I wish and I don't know this dude's political standing, but he's from London, and London's very anti-gun, right? But they have a knife problem. Go figure. Maybe because criminals don't follow the law. So this guy said something. He's like, well, think about it. Here in New York City, you can't own a gun, right? You can't own a gun legally. So when I go to the bodega, I know that no one has a gun there. So that's why there's going to be more robberies. He literally said, he goes, if we knew that there was more people carrying guns around, there'd be less crime. This guy doesn't touch it, just moves on to the next topic. And I'm like, dude, that's gold. Because that's coming right from the hood.
From the criminal.
From the criminal, right? So, yeah, man, it's crazy. Gun-free zones are very hypocritical. They don't help. They actually enable. There's a big, nice sign that says, if you want to rob us, you can.
That's basically what it is, especially if your house says it's a gun-free house. You're literally saying we got nothing to defend ourselves.
Yeah, and look, let's take a different approach on this. I'm not saying that it needs to be the wild, wild west. What I'm saying is, if you have a gun, you definitely need to know the laws around it. You need to know what you can and can't do, and you need to know how to use it. You need to be very proficient in knowing how to use it, because if not, and you're just shooting around, you're more liable than the fucking criminal, right? Or by there's more liability. So you need to know what you're doing, but we should definitely, their gun-free zone is stupid. Anyway, now another thing too, if you go out, I don't know if certain restaurants I think can say it's a gun-free zone.
Anything that serves alcohol you cannot carry.
So you can't, even if you were drinking water that whole night, you can't carry in there?
If it serves alcohol, you can't carry.
Got it. Now I see where that's coming from, because that sort of makes sense, but it's what is it? All right, so that's the first one.
That
Do you have
serves,
any more?
but the liquor store does not count because it doesn't serve it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so gun-free zone laws, I think that's a tough topic to really say. It's not a blanket statement either way. And
dude, look, and here's the thing: when you get rid, because this is different than gun-free zones. Sorry to interrupt you. Banning guns. It's another law that they want, right? That's not they want to. Dude, I'm sorry, but England did that, bro, and their stabbing problems went through the freaking roof. And I looked it up. It was back. I have to relook it again, but this was back when there was a huge gun debate back in 2020, 2021, or something like that. It was like 80,000 per million. So the size of the country, because everyone was like, oh, well, America's 320 million. And it's but when you did the actual crimes with knives to their population and then did ours guns, real guns, not fucking, because here's the thing, a lot of the gun crime statistics you see, what they don't tell you is they include suicides.
They include suicides. They include also police interactions too.
Police interactions, exactly. And when you do that, it's it's comparable to the size of the United States with their crime. So it's point being, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah, and the thing with that too is, you have the aspect of the crime is, it doesn't matter what the tool is, people are going to find a way to commit a crime, right? If you just say had a magic wand and you can get rid of all guns, that doesn't mean bad people disappear. Mm-hmm. You can't legislate morality. I've been hearing a lot more lately. You can't legislate morality. You can't. That purely comes from a cultural thing.
Yep.
So every time people say anything about laws, they have to keep that in mind, is you can't legislate morality. Just because you make it illegal doesn't mean someone's going to stop doing it. Mm-hmm. It just means they get punished for doing it.
Yeah.
That's all that means. Just like it says, it's only illegal if you get caught. I say it all the time. It's only legal if you get caught. That's a fact. It's still technically illegal, right? That doesn't change whether it's legal or not. But the consequences only happen is if you get caught. And then you have to get convicted. That's this topic. But the other thing, too, is on the whole gun violence stuff, and they want to ban guns. The amount of guns that are illegally in this country, or that have been illegally sold because of this country, whether we're arming terrorist organizations or other countries, the whole Fast and Furious, not the movies, the Fast and Furious program that under Obama's administration, where they were selling guns
to the
cartels to track them, quote unquote, track them. I don't believe that at all.
No,
that if the process was to track them, I think that's asinine. But it does. I don't. Can someone explain to me on how they would track the guns? But they sold fully automatic weapons to cartel agents, to cartel members.
Exactly.
The federal government did this, and they thought that was their smart way of dealing with cartels. It doesn't make sense to me.
Dude, that was the way of them getting paid by the cartel.
Yeah, But my point is, well, now that plausible deniability. So even if it was like whatever. Anyway, that's a conspiracy rabbit hole. My whole point is that is now illegal guns that are sold, and they're ghost guns. They're not trackable. They exist in the world.
Yeah.
You're not going to get rid of them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And going back to that fucking YouTube channel with Aaron S, the Taboo, there was another episode I was watching where he was interviewing the dude who sells the guns in the hood, and he goes, "Well, where you getting these guns?" And he goes, "Well, like when you get the citizen gets their gun taken away, right, from the cops. Yeah, some of them, they'll sell it to me." So guess what, guys? The people, the government.
That's very fucking common.
Yes. They did it with drugs in L.A. with in the 80s, 90s. So
they still do that. A lot of the L.A. cops will take the weapons, drive to Mexico, and sell it.
Yeah, dude. So it's like the crooked government officials who want to put these laws are giving it to the criminals. So it's like, guys, really just open your mind. You don't have to like guns.
I don't want to throw around crooked politicians because we don't know. We're not talking specifics here, and not every politician is corrupt. So
that's why I said the crooked ones.
Yeah. Well, some of them are also that aren't crooked are trying to get rid of guns too. Well, we don't know what crooked.
All right. I'm going to go out and say that if you're trying to take away guns, man, you're part of the establishment politicians, and this is my opinion, you're part of that big globalist agenda that doesn't want people to have guns so you're easier to control. That's my opinion. So I think you would be crooked.
I just think there's anti-gun people. And
they
may run for politician.
There are anti-gun people, for sure. I'm not saying that it just be because I'm pro-gun. You need to own a gun. You need to love guns. You need to kiss the gun. You need to have one. But I'm saying is...
Tell me about kissing this gun. Yeah, what are you into?
No, it's a fucking metaphor. Or not
I'm just teasing you.
But I will kiss the gun. But
you heard it here, folks. Joe will kiss the gun.
I'll kiss the gun. Don't even know what that means.
And smoking the pipe.
It's
the penne.
The penne. I like it. See, he's got it. Refer back to episode with his episode 164 for that penne joke. I love that you're using that. Yeah, dude. Yeah, there are people who are anti-guns for sure. But when you're a politician who's guarded by people with guns and you're anti-gun, that's just a little weird.
Okay. All right, let's move on off this.
Right. So, next one.
I'm sick of talking about gun stuff. I'm sick of it.
Well, we literally can't fucking ask the people to give us things.
No, I'm just saying we nailed that coffin.
Got it. Chill. Perfect. Pew, pew. Anyway, this one you're going to know this person really well. Seatbelt laws for adults. Drug laws. Pumping your own gas.
Oh, I don't know who that would have been. That was me, folks. The fact that New Jersey, you legally can't... I think we're the last state that you can't pump your own gas.
Yeah.
It used to be Utah.
Mm-hmm.
No, not Utah. Oregon. It used to be Oregon.
Okay.
They got rid of it because there's rural areas that they wanted to get rid of. So there's parts of Oregon that still have it, but state-wise it's not. I can understand if they want to change the law to that gas stations are required to have someone that will provide service, but I don't think it should be illegal that you cannot provide your own service. It makes no fucking sense.
Do we know why in New Jersey there's a law that you can't pump your own gas? Because it is pretty stupid. I will agree.
But I'm convinced back in the day they put that in place. I don't know how far back it goes, but I'm convinced they put it back in place to steal credit card information.
Is that right?
That's what I'm convinced. And then hold on to the fucking card. It drives me fucking nuts. Give me my card back. That's not your property. You used it. I got in a screaming match with one of the gas tenants, BP in East Hanover. The guy was a fucking asshole. Give me a card. No, well, in case it doesn't, you already swiped my card. It went through. Yeah. That's how that works. You don't keep it anymore. I got out of the car and took it back. He's like, if you don't trust me? I go, no, I don't fucking trust you. Then why are you coming here? Because I need fucking gas. I trust that you have gas. I don't trust you holding onto my fucking card.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about it that way. But, don't you think if that were the case, people would be getting a lot of their shit stolen and credit cards would be getting spent on shit? So, what would they be stealing the credit card information for?
They may steal all of it and pick and choose. I don't know.
Who knows?
But I think that was back in the day. It may not be. It's easier to steal shit now. And what was the other thing I said?
You said drug laws.
Oh, yeah. We talked about this before.
We have, yeah. Drug laws are a little...
But again, that goes... You can't legislate morality.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And then there was 3 there, right?
You said seatbelt laws. We touched about that
seatbelt
one.
laws, yeah.
Seatbelt laws are a little weird. Actually, I have a. Well, I mean, look, I'll always wear my seatbelt. I'm not going to say it. They're a little. I don't know why I said they're a little weird. Maybe I was thinking more of the gas law. The seatbelt laws I'm fine with, but my friend, really good friend, best friend, his dad used to be a volunteer firefighter. And they would see incidents and accidents when they would go to scenes, right? You know how like the firefighters go to like the paramedic scenes with people when they have the seatbelt on and they get into a crash, like the seatbelt would like it would so bad it would crush their slit their neck. I don't know. I think it's a good law because if you are going fast, you're fucked. You'll fly right out of the car.
Here's the thing: is like I brought up the oxymoron of the motorcycle. It doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. I think if I don't want to drive with a safety device, that's on me. Like, you don't need to drive with a car with the top of the line. Like, there's safety crash ratings. You can drive a car with terrible safety rating. Or you can drive the new Teslas now that, okay, don't let them catch on fire, but they have some of the best crash test ratings besides the fire part. Their airbags and stuff are super dynamic and intelligent. So I think those are more effective than seatbelts. I think seatbelts at some point are going to become outdated. I think even said it is the airbag technology is going to be so good that the seatbelts don't even need to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it came about because insurance companies wanted that because then less chances of them having to pay out for people. But the fact of the matter is, like, it doesn't make sense. If you can drive a motorcycle, then why is there a seatbelt law?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not consistent.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense.
All right, what else we got here?
That doesn't make any sense. That's a good one. I got to think on that. Bail reform. I don't know enough to talk to this.
They're getting rid of bail, so there's cashless bail, whatever.
So you can't pay cash to get out of jail? Or are they saying that there's a law that you can pay to get out? Is stupid.
You don't have to pay to get out. There's so before, like, they don't do bail anymore. If it had bail, you basically get free bail. You get out on bail and it doesn't cost anything. And then if you're up like a tier, there's a certain breakdown of it where if you get caught now, you're either getting let out or you're staying in, depending on how severe it was.
Because wasn't bail like there's a $250,000 bail, meaning that if you could pay $250,000, you're out.
Basically, you're paying a collateral price to say that you're going to show up for court.
Got it.
And so the more severe of a case it is, the more expensive it's going to be.
Got it. Okay. Gotcha.
And they're saying that's not fair to poor people. So they're just like criminals out because they can't afford to pay the bail.
Yeah, but you're not. I see what you mean, but you're not also. Yeah, it's almost like it's like a class problem at that point.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter what class you're in. It should be based on the crime you commit.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. That's a whole. I don't really care enough about that debate. I'm not a criminal, nor do I care about bail. But I don't think people should just be let out because there's no bail. It makes no sense to me. I don't. There might be a better, sophisticated way of making the system better, but to just let people out is stupid.
Yeah, I'm not going to give my opinion on this because I don't really know too much about it. So fuck it. This one's not really a law, but it is a law in jiu-jitsu world. No heel hooks in the gi. This is a stupid one because you could do the Aoki lock, which is essentially the same type of submission in a gi.
Which one's that?
That's the one where you put the
in the stomach.
Yeah, in the stomach. So you take like an ankle lock sort of approach, but you put it on the stomach and then you twist the heel.
Mikey got me that a bunch of times, of course.
Dude, it's a great submission, but it technically does the same mechanics as the heel hook.
Yeah, it's good defense for top half.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, basically is. Yeah, it does make sense.
It does make sense.
There's a bunch of shit that doesn't make sense. Whatever.
So that one I agree. This one's a great one. Federal taxes. Yeah, damn. Straight after what we saw, what's going on with the USAID, absolutely federal taxes.
Income tax is stupid. Income tax is completely stupid.
Christ.
And so is property tax. We went on a whole rant about property tax.
We did. And that's the people, it's like, well, how are you going to pay the roads? Bro, look at New Jersey right now. You have 80 there's no preventative action to begin with.
If the taxes pay the roads, then why are there tolls?
Yeah, exactly. What?
Be consistent, right?
Oh, my God. If our cities and towns were immaculate, clean, sophisticated, up to date, and it was because of the taxes we were paying, then you would have an argument. But no, when it's going to the pockets of politicians, go screw yourself. And lobbyists, all that. Let people bring their dogs everywhere. Free the dogs. I guess there's no dogs.
Are we talking about like in the Office?
I guess.
My dog's a barking.
I don't know. Like,
have you seen The Office?
No, I've never seen The Office.
You should watch it. Kevin, heavier set guy. He calls his feet dogs. The dog's a barking. Let him breathe. I think it should be more up to the places, the public places, the private places, I should say. The stores and whatnot.
Yeah, so like the private. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Maybe it's just because I never grew up with animals or pets. But like, there's probably some areas where you probably shouldn't have your dog. Like, I don't want your dog jumping on my table when I'm eating out.
I think there should be almost like a driver's license where your dog passes a public politeness test to prove that your dog can be in public without issues.
That's not a bad idea, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that would be a good step if you wanted to do that. Sure.
Yeah, and then that's just another tax revenue.
Yeah, of course. Maybe they shouldn't do it.
Yeah, well, if you want this, it's a privilege. It's not a right. It's a privilege. If you want this privilege, you have to pass the test and pay for it.
Not bad. All right, this next one I don't agree with, but I want to get your take on it. Speed limits.
Get rid of speed limits?
Yeah, like that's a stupid law. It's inefficient.
I was actually thinking about this today. You don't agree? You think we should have speed limits?
I think we should have speed limits, and here's why. So, if I don't want to wear my seatbelt, and then something happens to me, that's my fault. Agreed. Because that is you and your car. If you decide you want to, and look, I like going fast, right? But if you want to be that asshole who's going to go 160 miles per hour and then you kill someone else, now it went into someone else because you decided to go 160 miles per hour. Or so like, I don't know if they're saying that it's dumb that I can't go 80 and a 65 without. Okay, then I see the point there. But if it's just no speed limits, that's people are deterred from going really, really fast in the hundreds because there's speed limits.
I don't fully agree with that. I don't disagree with it, but I don't fully agree.
That's fine. What do you think about it?
Let's just say, for argument's sake, that we're talking about highways.
Okay.
Where on-ramps and on-ramps and off-ramps. They're not side streets that you're making left. Yeah. There's no traffic lights and none of that. It's just highway with on and off-ramps. That's what we're talking about here.
That's what I was thinking about, too.
Okay. That's what we're talking about. I don't think there's people that will drive whatever speed they want, and they don't fucking care.
Okay.
And then there's people that follow the law. And then there's people, everyone in between. I'd tell you right now, I don't not do 100 miles an hour because of the law. If I'm doing 100 or 90 or 85 or 80, if a cop sees me, I'm getting pulled. Well, 80 maybe not, but if I'm speeding, I'm getting pulled over. It doesn't matter. It's just 100%. More obvious when you're doing really fast. I drive to the conditions of the road. That's weather conditions, service conditions, rain, snow, all that stuff, and traffic. That's what I do. It's all based on that. And that's all I care about. So if I'm on the turnpike at 3 o'clock in the morning, I've been there with no one on the road, and it's completely straight.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I allegedly don't care what the speed limit says. I do what I feel comfortable doing.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do 160 miles an hour because none of my vehicles will drive that safely.
Yes. And now look, perfect point. Now I see where you're coming from there. Absolutely. I think if we have everyone listening to the show, 95% of people will probably tell you, like, on Route 80, right? We know it. If it's 65, 80. You going 80? That's not what I'm saying. I see where the speed limit is stupid in that case, okay?
I do think, so let's take away the no speed limit thing, because I think that's a stretch. You're never going to get there. I do think there needs to be a better speed limit situation. I think the speed limit of 65 is completely asinine. It's ridiculous. A lot of states now have speed limits of 80 miles an hour. But I also think there needs to be stricter licensing. I think it needs to be renewed more often. And I mean, like, actually renewed, not just filling paper. Like, it makes no sense that it's just paperwork. Makes no fucking sense.
I don't want to be paying $24 a year, though. That's fucking stupid. Like, just for fucking a new thing.
No, but I'm not saying your license is good for 3 years, 4 years?
I think it's 4 years.
4 years, okay. But you just...
2, it might be 2.
2, whatever. Whatever it is. I'm not saying have it every year, but the renewal is just you fill out paperwork and you get a new one. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference.
But there you go.
For sure. Uh-oh.
Is yours expired?
No,
Allegedly?
no. It's not expired. It expires on my birthday this year. I think I may have gone a little over because it was issued on the... No, this makes no sense. No, I know why. I can't go by this one. Do you have your license? This one I had to get my address. They went back to my old address.
Dude, that's a mug shot.
Yeah, dude. So I have my so the reason why this was issued 2024 September, so it's not a year. It's either 2 or 4.
You look like a criminal in that picture.
I was very malnourished in that picture.
I was going to say, you look like you're cutting weight. I didn't want to be too mean.
This is when, remember when I used to tell you that I used to do like the unhealthy cuts and I was ripped? That was this time.
Dude, I'm going to try to take a picture and put that on the screen for everyone.
Let's
see if he lets me.
Just don't. Only if it's my photo, not.
I'm gonna put all your public information out there.
That's fine. You can do that. What's
no? Here comes Joe's bad credit.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I see. Like you're saying have like if you're gonna do the renewals, make sure you know how to drive.
But I think more specifically New Jersey, other states, but because we're so dense, there's so many bad drivers now. People don't give a shit anymore. They just cut. I've seen it nonstop. People just cut off tractor trailers.
Yeah,
they just do dumb shit. I think it needs to be stricter licensing to get it. I think there needs to be more consequences for not following the rules of the highway because people just switch lanes. They don't fucking care. People just stay in the left lane because they think they can because they're doing the speed limit and they try to block people from driving. I don't care what you're doing. There's other people on the road. You have to get out of everyone's way. If they're going faster than you and you don't like it, that's fine. You have every right to but getting in their way or not letting them pass is making the road more dangerous.
Yeah.
Than just letting them pass due to the speed. It doesn't matter. Everyone's going to drive different speeds. It's going to happen. It's facts. But I think they need to be more stricter with licensing and more strict with enforcing the rules of the road.
Yeah.
And less focused on the speed. The speed limit thing is it's an arbitrary thing that they dictate is safe or not. 65 miles an hour is stupid, especially on the turnpike.
Dude, if you're in the left lane going 65 miles per hour and 80, get the fuck over to the right lane.
Yeah. Well, there's high dense traffic, and that's 65 is moving, and the rest of it's going 40. Okay, that makes sense. But this brings it back to the speed limit thing. There's a time and place for certain speeds and others. At 3 o'clock in the morning, why is there a speed limit? It should just be whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
And, okay, that's my opinion. Okay, maybe you just make the speed limit is you top it out at, I'm just throwing this number out there arbitrarily, 100. Now, the turnpike's different than the Garden State Parkway. The Garden State Park is very tight and kind of windy. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, no one's on the road.
Yeah, no one is.
So, I think, there's like after 2 o'clock in the morning, the speed limits kind of get a little looser. But, between 3 and 6 p.m., they get reduced because it's rush hour. Okay. But outside of that, then they have like 80 miles an hour.
So you think there should be a limit. It just should be a top-out limit, and depending on like the time of day.
I don't think that speed limits is the best judgment on how to make a road safe.
How to make a road safe is doing preventative work on it so it doesn't collapse in the highway.
The traffic flow, keeping the traffic safe.
Yes, keeping the
traffic flow safe. I think focusing on education on the proper way to drive, enforcing the rules of the road, not just speed limits. I don't think the speed limits is the best way to judge the safety of someone's driving.
Okay.
I think it leaves a lot left. I had another point. Oh, yeah. Like, back to the speed limit, though. My whole point is I drive to the conditions of the road that is presented at that time.
Okay.
And I don't think the speed limit really... It doesn't change ever. It's 65. If it's 5 p.m. and you're in bumper-to-bumper traffic, the speed limit's still 65. But I should never be doing 65 because there's no room to do it. Mm-hmm. If I can get up to the speed of 65, well, A, that's impressive, but B, I'm going to cause an accident. If I don't cause an accident, it's going to be pretty damn close and be a bad situation. So it doesn't make sense to me, Yeah. And the other thing, I actually said this, I was talking to Scott at the gym about this. I don't remember why it came up, but... I think the legal limit for drinking is way too high. 0.08.
All right, so hold on a second. Stop right there.
Yeah.
Blood alcohol should be 0.10, not 0.08. This is America, gosh dang it. He said, God damn it. But
if you think that people are driving well to begin with, sober and you want to make them drunk, that doesn't make sense to me.
So can you repeat what you were talking to Scott about?
I just don't think that people should be able to. I was telling the story. My wife had a DUI at 2:00 in the afternoon on Tuesday. Guy was belligerent on a Tuesday in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you
Going
doing?
up
You're a bum.
on a Tuesday.
You're a fucking bum.
What's that song? Getting up on a Tuesday.
Yeah, whatever. I've had a Tuesday before, but I was in high school. Well, in college too, I did a lot, but I wasn't driving. My whole point though is I don't know who that is. You can go tell my widow aunt, who got her husband killed at 2:00 in the afternoon for someone blacked out drunk.
Yeah.
I don't think making people be able to drive drunk is the smart move at all. Get in a fucking Uber.
Yeah, that's true.
A driver's
but
license.
0.08 though, are you drunk though? It depends.
Yes.
It's everyone.
Yes.
No, but everyone is different though. There are some people who 0.08 is like, you can.
Okay,
like,
but it doesn't
over.
matter. If someone's falling over at 0.08 and they're legally allowed to drive, that's fucking stupid. It doesn't make a difference. Driver's license is not a right; it's a privilege.
Yeah.
You have the right to travel wherever you want. You don't have the right to drive. It's a privilege. That's why it's a license.
Yeah.
And that's a different story about fucking gun licenses.
Yeah.
But that's another topic. But you're not free to drive. If you want the limit to be 0.1, then we should have no speed limits, and everyone can just drive as fast blindly.
Oh, yeah, 0.1 he did say, yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Now, we're going to go to another one that someone said. I don't know. I completely disagree with this. To give this person the benefit of the doubt, you're going to completely disagree with it based off of what you just said, okay? And I think most people are going to disagree with this. And I'm actually very curious. I want to ask this person where they were going with this, because I don't know how this is a useless law. But one of the answers is drunk driving. And I'm like, what? How is that a useless, inefficient law? Like, are you kidding me?
Drunk driving is a useless. I don't get it.
I don't get it. Like, that's we asked for what should be repealed. Drunk driving should not be repealed. Like,
so
getting arrested for drunk driving, you could kill somebody.
So okay, I want to take this because I don't disagree with it either.
Are you saying like if you just blew a .04 but you're not fucking drunk, you shouldn't be arrested? Is that where you think they're going with that?
So I don't disagree with this, even though everything I just said before.
Well, please hear, because I don't know where it's
so
going.
my question is, and I don't disagree. If this is the logic that they're thinking,
which I don't know, we don't know.
Okay. If someone blows a .1, we'll say they're definitely drunk, but they're driving completely safe because they're alcoholics and they're basically them drunk is them sober. It doesn't change. Then are they driving unsafe?
Well, that was the point I was saying before.
Yeah.
So you don't think that person should get arrested?
So it's a redundant thing, right? They were driving unsafe, and they say unsafe driving and a DUI. Well, which one is it? That's double jeopardy. They got punished for the same action with two different things. The DUI it should be in place if you can't get a conviction for speeding or something like that. The whole point, right? What is the goal? To make the road safe. That's the goal. You get someone doing something unsafe and you're trying to stop them. You're never going to dictate people not doing crime. That's not how laws work. They enforce it after a crime has happened.
Yep.
So, if they're driving safe, they're driving safe. If they're not driving safe, they're not driving safe. Like, so the DUI thing is kind of like it's adding on top of them not driving safe. Technically, I can understand that logic. I don't fully disagree.
I mean, I disagree only because I see where you're coming from, and I see how it's like what I said before. If they're .08, but like at the same time, like how I interpreted it was the people who are blowing crazy amounts that are all this, like they shouldn't be arrested. That's how I interpreted it, and I'm like, no, they should definitely be arrested.
Yeah, but at the same time, were they arrested for a DUI and driving unsafe or making roads unsafe, whatever the condition
that's what I'm
may
saying.
be?
I'm interpreting it as the road is unsafe with them on it, not that they had a couple of drinks and got fucking caught.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I interpreted this as you could kill somebody.
Yeah. So, but my whole point.
Well, you could kill somebody sober with a car,
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter.
That's another adding to this is that enforcing the people doing things wrong driving.
Yeah.
What is the wrong thing? It's just making the roads unsafe. You're just not following the rules of the road. I think ultimately is the thing that we need to enforce.
Yeah.
I think the DUI thing is kind of when you can't get someone on other things. They pile it on and all that shit. So I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Just
Like,
something to get them.
Yeah, it's like I see both. I see the logic behind. Well, if it's either they're driving safe or they're not driving safe, and that's it. Them being drunk or sober doesn't change whether they're driving. Yeah, it does, but like they can be sober and not driving safe. Mm-hmm. So I don't think sober. I think if you're not sober, you can be driving unsafely or more likely to drive unsafely, but doesn't mean that you are driving unsafely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
that's
I do think there's a point. Like I said before, they need to lower it. I think it should be like a 0.5, 0.05.
I say a 0.5.
0.5.
You're fucking dead, bro. Dude, 0.5, you're dead before you even get in the car.
Yeah, be fucking Frogger in real life with not on the road. Yeah, so I think a 0.05 or something like that. I think it needs to be lower. I think it's too high. With Uber, if you can drink, you can spend money on a fucking taxi. If you can't spend money on a taxi, get a fucking job and stop drinking.
Yeah.
I don't have sympathy. You shouldn't. Drinking is a luxury. You have the right to do it whenever the fuck you want. But that's a luxury. It's not a necessity.
For some, it is though. Unfortunately,
no, it's not.
No, I know. I'm not kidding.
They're addicted.
They're
no,
addicted, yeah.
Okay, if they go cold turkey, they'll die. Cool. You don't go cold turkey. You phase yourself off, and then you stop doing it.
Yeah, or they just go cold turkey. I don't think they're gonna die off of it.
You can die from cold turkey and alcohol.
What the fuck? How?
Yeah. If you're severely an alcoholic.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
it's not common, but it is possible. So yeah, I don't fully disagree with that person.
Okay, I see. Well, I'm gonna stick to my answer.
I'm gonna bump this heat up.
Yep. The next one, you don't need to be here for that while you're bumping the heat up, but it's most. Okay, most laws. All right. Well, I mean, sure. It's a very vague answer, but sure there are. I'm sure there's most laws. We could probably do without most laws. This one I can't really speak to because I'm not a hunter. It'll definitely probably. It'll probably have.
That's good English.
English there. It's good. NJ bear hunt should be the whole bow season. 1 bear per tag. Monitor the tag amount. I mean, I don't really care. Like, I'm not one of these people who have a problem with hunting. It's, bear hunting. Sure. I guess there's protected bear hunts. I guess there's a bear season, right? And you can, there should be the whole bow season. Okay, okay. So he's saying the whole hunting season, you should be allowed to shoot bears, not just a certain time. I'm guessing that's what it is in New Jersey.
I think they need to not have hunting stuff be based off of feel-good politics.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
think there needs to be logic and reason behind all of it.
Yeah,
not some arbitrary bullshit.
Like, for example, like back, and I'm going back primitive times, so obviously, yes, it's not the primitive times, Joe. I get that.
Maybe with your English.
English. But if hunting animals was for food and for survival, and if you didn't hunt them, obviously we're now living in houses, so we don't have to worry about this anymore. But if you didn't,
that's not necessarily true. We do have to worry about bears still.
No, yes, but what I'm saying is back then, by back then I mean thousands of years ago, if a bear can come into your house easily, your home easily, and fucking eat you and your entire family. So like there was a way, like you didn't care about the feel good politics at that point. You just killed bears. And like if you're up in Montana and Alaska, and like maybe Northern California where there's a lot of black bear. I don't think there's grizzly up there. But these places, like, damn straight, I'm going to shoot the bear before it fucking kills me. Hopefully I'm good shot. Like, you kidding me? And the last one, we've touched this so many times. I will say it. We don't have to go too much into it. Is federal...
I was going to make a joke out of that.
What were you going to say?
I got one over here, too.
Oh, no, okay.
We've been touching this a bunch of times.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. There was one more that someone commented, not in here, but commented in the things.
Finish what you were just saying, though, about what we've talked about. Touchdown.
Touchdown.
We touched a bunch of times.
Talk
about Joe's childhood.
Oh, my God, dude. That's wild.
I'm just kidding.
No, I know.
This isn't Epstein Island and the fucking fake data they're releasing.
Yeah, right? Oh, God, don't even get me started on that. It was the weed laws, federal weed laws, need to fuck off, is what I was...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't really care. I don't even smoke, but like, I don't really care about if you smoke or not. It's stupid. This is not even a law because the person said it. I agree, but it's not a law because it has the word mandate in it. Every vaccine mandate
Yeah. Well, my wife's sick of me talking about vaccines on how they don't study them and the safety efficacy on them is skewed. If you look at how they word...
This is not a law, folks, obviously, because it has the word mandate in it. We understand that. Where you going?
How they word their effectiveness of things. Look at how they word anything. They throw sloppy... I'm saying sloppy, but it's not sloppy. It's very particular words they use so that it comes across making you perceive as one thing, but really it's another. They said the COVID vaccine was 100% effective. But if you break it down to what they're saying the data was that 100% effective, it was like one study showed non-vaccinated was 2 people and the vaccine got 1 person. Two people had the COVID out of a sample of 10, and the vaccine group had 1 person that had COVID out of the 10 people, whatever it is. I'm throwing arbitrary numbers. So it was 100%. It was 50% better than that. So that means it's 100% effective, or some. They do some weird math to make it look like it's better than it is. Mm-hmm. And they can also, they don't provide the raw data. They provide the summary of the data. They're not required to. They can do whatever they want, and it's just a summary of the data. And it's not all the data. It's the data that they cherry picked. So they can do 100 different studies, and they only need to provide one of those studies. I don't know the exact numbers. These are arbitrary, so find exact details yourself. But they can do nonstop studies, and then they just cherry pick the best studies. And then from that, they can draw their own conclusion with that best study and cherry pick the data so it presents exactly the information they want.
Yeah. So, no, and that's a good point. And I'm actually going to use this in so what do you think about vaccines and autism? Do you think there's a link?
I think it's hard for you to say that there's not a link is very arrogant. Mm-hmm. I think autism rates are through the roof.
Yep.
Vaccines are through the roof. The schedule on vaccines are significantly higher in the last 15, 20 years than they were when we were kids.
Yeah.
Also, if you look at correlations, and correlations not causation, but if you look at correlations between the influx of autism rates versus the start of vaccines in any country, they almost correlate exactly. I also don't even know the efficacy of how effective these vaccines are, and they're never. If you talk about this, you're automatically say you're a vaccine denier. Conspiracy theorist. Show me the fucking data. I need to see the proof. If it's that good, then you should be able to provide me obvious, clear evidence.
Yeah,
I should be able to have a conversation about this, and not it be a controversy.
Yeah,
it should be an easy conversation to have. Hey, this is the vaccine. Here's how it performs. Here's the risks with it. But you can't even talk about risk. You're just labeled an asshole.
Well, that's because they're making money off this shit, so they want to make you like scared to say that.
But that's the whole thing. That's the propaganda story behind it, and that's the Rogan just had some guy on talking. It basically, he's former CIA, and he's breaking through down how he would like con people and break people down and stuff. It was a great listen. But he was saying if everyone's saying the same shit, it's propaganda. But if you're not allowed to talk about it at all, that's propaganda. It's propaganda wasn't the exact word, but basically, like it's a psyop. If you're not allowed to talk about it, it's a psyop. That's 100% someone's back psyop. Mm-hmm. So, the vaccine stuff is, I think, the fact that we can't have a conversation about this, A, means it's a psyop, but B, that just signals to me that I may not be 100% right, but I'm probably closer to the right than blindly believing that vaccines are completely safe.
Exactly. And I like why you're saying this. And I the reason I asked that is I don't know if it was you or someone else who recently a couple days ago this week sent me a video about a guy talking about vaccines with autism. Okay. Did you catch what he said? He catches himself. Yeah. And this is a guy that's would argue in favor of what you just said. He was a doctor, right? Was he a doctor?
I think so.
Yeah. So he caught himself, though, because language is very important.
Yes.
He goes, and in the study, he goes, there were no, or what was it? Oh, when they did some, like a test of kids with that didn't have wasn't it something like a test of kids who didn't take any vaccines?
Yeah.
And he goes, there were no cases and then he literally changed. He goes, we couldn't find cases of autism.
See,
that's being responsible.
You see how the wording changes everything
100%.
And how they make it. They use that exact how they word things in their favor. They make it sloppy to fully understand what they're saying.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, even this is something we agree with. Yeah. I caught that he changed himself, and I think he changed himself because he knew that if he said no, it would discredit him.
Well, it's just legally now they can say, like, you definitely said no, and we can prove that there was a 20% chance of one person had it.
Exactly. So he changed his wording. Yeah. It was a very subtle change, and it stuck with me. But yeah, so wording is very important. But yes, I agree that it definitely there is correlation, causation. Okay, no, but I definitely think there.
I think there's a lot of signs that show towards it, but I don't think. I think vaccines being blindly immune to any prosecution is. Just show signs that it's not effective. Yeah. It's not healthy. It's not safe.
Yeah.
No, where's the bodies? Well, the skyrocketing autism rates is there. There's also a skyrocketing of autoimmune disease, which I think I think that's more significant of a chance of having a byproduct from vaccines than anything else. Not intelligence, but like developmental ages and stuff being retarded in the clinical sense of slow down.
Yeah.
Not mental retardation. So yeah, that's my belief. I mean, I'm leaning towards not vaccinating, and if I do, it would be much more delayed after at least 3, closer to 5, where the body's developed. I think when you introduce one food at a time to a kid, but you give them multiple vaccines at a time.
Yeah, dude, it's wild.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
And look, like I have my vaccines that like when I got from birth, right? Like our parents, maybe they did or didn't know. They probably, but like you get your vaccines, like it's the pick of the litter. Like obviously, it's not if you get one, you're gonna be fucking autistic. It's like obviously we're not saying that.
No.
Like,
yeah. So I actually just found out. I had the conversation with my mom recently. We got DNA tests. You know the motherfucker gene, MTHFR.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You don't have to whisper. Everyone knows by now.
No. Wait. So wait, hold on. And I completely forgot that I was on camera. So like now it doesn't matter if people saw me. Anyway, what I don't know what.
So the MTHFR gene, Gary Brecka talks about a lot.
Okay.
So that's if you have that, you don't process folate as well. So I just started a methylfolate, which is in my thing over there. Mikey unfortunately doesn't carry it, or else I'd be going with him. But if there's 3 different versions, 3 different parts, 3 different types of that gene. I have 2 of the 3, and the more of those you have, the higher risk you have of having side effects to vaccines. So both of my parents have 1, I think, and I have 2 of the 3. And my mom said after talking about this, she's like, I wish, now that I know this, I wouldn't have gotten you vaccinated.
Yeah.
Because there's higher chances of it. And I actually had a severe reaction to the COVID vaccine. I almost died on the jiu-jitsu mat.
Yeah. I still can't believe that I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah. And then, dude, even the cardiologist was like, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Go fuck yourself. I'm not fine. Clearly, I'm not fine. I know the difference.
Your cardiologist was shitting their pants because they fucking probably have
that guy was supposedly one of the best rated guys ever. Here's the thing:
I bet you he was pushing people. I can't say this with a fact. If I'm wrong, I reserve the right to be absolutely wrong. I don't know this guy. This is going to be very, very irresponsible of me to say this. I'm never going to meet him. I don't know who it is. We won't mention names, but I guarantee.
Can tell you. I don't remember.
I can't say I guarantee you. I'm saying that as like a generalization. There were a lot of doctors. This doesn't mean this guy. There were a lot of doctors who were pushing this vaccine, even well-known doctors, because obviously they obviously believed in it, or they couldn't go against it with risk of losing their license. So he's probably, if that's the case with him, if it is, he's probably felt very guilty and was trying to say that you were fine. I have no way of knowing.
Arrogant Eastern European person, and I really don't fucking like him. I think he was way too arrogant coming into the conversation about my heart health.
Okay, so he's probably...
If I met him on the streets and I was having a conversation with him, I would have ripped his head off verbally.
Yes.
Like, the guy was a fucking asshole.
Okay, so it's probably...
Like, I don't care what your belief is. You don't know everything.
Yeah.
I don't care how long you've been doing it. You don't know everything. This is a new vaccine. You don't know... You haven't been part of the studies for it, so you don't know everything. So shut the fuck up there.
Facts. That is true.
I was telling him I only have an issue when I hit my peak heart rate. He stopped me at 70%. Why? No, I got all the information I need. No, you didn't. I told you. It's only at my peak heart rate I was having issues. Granted, too, is by the time I went and saw the doctor, it was probably 6 to 8 months later. And myocarditis, if that's what it was, there's no way to know unless I do some severe stuff. I did a stress test. I didn't go look at anything. They just did a stress test. If I'm recovered, if you have any damage to your heart, it doesn't fully recover ever. It's not a muscle like that. This is my understanding. I'm an engineer.
I think I heard that from studies.
But
read that.
If I had like a mild blood clot and that's what I had happening or whatever the case may be, like I went past that. I came through the other side. I'm fine. I could have recovered or whatever that made sense, but I could have long-term scar tissue. Long-term scarring that may not show up on a stress test, but it shows up on an MRI or whatever they fucking do. And that's honestly the only way to actually find out that information.
Yeah, that bothers me that your cardiologist was a prick.
So our plan is next year we're going to I think Greece, and we're going to take a detour to Turkey to do the full fucking panel up.
Let's go.
Do the full scan of the body.
Let's go.
All $700 worth to get everything done.
Let's go, baby.
I'm excited for that. We were supposed to do that this year, but we're doing Italy instead.
Well, yeah, you're going in a month.
6 weeks?
6 weeks?
No,
my God. 7 weeks, bro. 7 weeks.
Fuck, dude, it's approaching quick. I need to plan my Como trip.
You need to wait. Who are you playing again? We already if you go
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. It was 7 weeks on Thursday.
7 weeks on Thursday. Nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice. That's it. Those are all the laws.
Oh, I had one. I had one. Forgot. Let's see. It's one of my buddies. He went to high school with Mikey.
So he's a Knowles.
I met him through work.
Kid.
I met him through work. So NFA. What's NFA? I don't know. Magazine capacities, assault weapon ban, tax law, pumping gas in New Jersey, and Patriot Act.
Yes, Patriot Act is fucked up.
It's not patriotic at all.
No, it's not patriotic. They just now use it. They said that they were using it for terrorists, right, to spy on terrorists, but now we know that they're using it to spy on every American citizen because how the fuck else? How else do you think when these people get arrested? You know, when these people get like charged of a crime, and then you start like these higher people, and you hear their audio.
Yeah.
How do you think they're getting that, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
They're getting that from the phones.
Well, I mean, you can get a warrant for that stuff too. The Patriot Act could just be, they sneezed, so let's get a warrant. I don't know the exact details, but yeah. So the magazine ban, magazine ban to me, is I think, my personal opinion is it's unconstitutional. But B,
absolutely.
Back to the conversation with the government selling guns to cartels. You're not going to get rid of those magazines. 3D printers exist. You can build whatever the fuck you want, and then you can also in California they made like a permanently fixed magazine, and they just made speed loaders that go through the extraction port. There's ways you can make any law you want. There's ways around it. When alcohol was illegal, they were making moonshine, and that's how NASCAR started. There's ways to weed was illegal, and they found ways to sell it too. It doesn't matter what law you put in place; they're going to find ways around it.
Yep, absolutely. So the NFA is National Firearms Act. It's the law that regulates the sale, transfer, and ownership of certain firearms and suppressors. Yeah, that's a bullshit. It's unconstitutional.
Also, you should not be against suppressors. They are not silencers.
No,
they
they're
still are loud unless you have subsonic rounds, which you have to be in. There's no reason for you to have that. Like, okay, whatever. I don't fucking care, but guns are loud. They still make a bunch of fucking noise.
It goes bang. It's an explosion in your hand.
So the whole Luigi Mangione or whatever his fucking name is, allegedly killing that guy. He had suppressor with subsonic rounds. Yeah, that's why it was so quiet, and that's also why he had to cock it every time, because there was enough to cycle the weapon.
Yeah,
between the subsonic plus the suppressor. Suppressors should be encouraged for gun ranges. It will help keep gun noises down and stuff like that. They're not silencers. They don't make it mute. And even if it is, what's the difference? It's not like the gun noises stop the crime from happening any faster.
Dude, exactly. Like it
doesn't make any difference.
It's so stupid. Yeah. Like remember the brace with the pistol braces or something, right? That thing too, like so dumb. I was watching the Anti-Hero podcast, and one of the guys is a cop. Like they're both former military, and one guy's a cop, and they're in Florida. And he said this live on his podcast. It was a YouTube live. It was a live video, and one of the people asked them was like, so what are you gonna do if you get the like someone asked like, well, what would you do if there was a hand, like you pistol brace that you pulled someone over, a legal pistol brace, and the guy was like, what a legal pistol brace? I don't see one. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
it's like that's how it should be, bro. Like these laws are so stupid, bro.
Also, the pistol brace thing is stupid as well. There's a lot of things with the guns, like fully automatic weapons. Every SEAL, any special forces guys, like, you don't use fucking fully automatic. Automatic weapon fire is for suppressive fire, where you have a fucking belt-fed machine gun, and that doesn't move well. You don't. If you're trying to do anything with the weapon that's moving at all, you're not shooting fully automatic.
No, the only way that because I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here and fucking get in the eyes of these politicians or whatever, or these people who are against automatic. These goombas. It's like, here's where automatic wet fire would be deadly, is if you're in the mall and there's like 50 people surrounded. So even though dude, shooting a fucking automatic weapon is not easy, right? It's not hard, but it's not easy to like get it accurate, is what I'm saying, right? I've done it once. And I'm sure any military person will tell you to accurately shoot, it's probably not going to be fully automatic. But if you had some dumbass who's just spraying people, okay. But like, dude, are you serious? Like, do you think that's going to happen regardless? Because full circle to back into the beginning of this, criminals don't follow law.
Yeah, and the government sells guns to criminals.
Yeah, that are fully automatic.
Yeah. So, and those were weapons of war too.
Yep.
Yeah. I hate talking about gun stuff drives me nuts because it's just a controversial topic. Like, do you think anything we said is going to get people to change their opinion?
No.
Yeah, so we're just talking to people that agree with us. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It drives me nuts.
It's like my goal here wasn't to. My goal specifically was not to get anyone to change their mind. I actually really don't care anymore. Like, I don't care about what other people think. I don't care if they argue with me. Like, here's one. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to go back to what I thought people were going to say, and no one did. Okay? And this is one that I will give you my opinion. I will give you the full opinion of it. It's a very controversial topic, right? Very controversial topic, and I don't care. What I'm going to say here, I don't care to change your mind. I really don't. Abortion, I thought people were going to say that. Mm-hmm. Now, the Roe versus Wade, Roe v. Wade, that got overturned. Everyone's like, oh, no, women are second-class citizens. Shut up. One, shut up, please. Two, it actually is constitutional because now you're giving more power to the state instead of the federal government. So that's in line with the Constitution.
I have my pocket Constitution on my kitchen table. I wish I brought it out.
Yeah. And three. Okay. So I'm going to lay this out very clearly. So there's a lot of people who are like, oh, well, people who are against the vaccine mandates for COVID, but now want the government to regulate what a woman can do with her body. Okay. My first thing on that, with the exception of 1%, because everyone uses the 1% for some moral high ground of rapes, which are horrific, by the way, horrific, and pregnancies that would result in the death of the mother, where they do the thing, right? It's 1% of cases. So that means in 99%, both man and woman, yes, you heard that, both man and woman had sex unsafely, right? Which happens all the time. They had a kid, now they got pregnant. So for your bad decision, now you're going to kill a baby? How is that the same thing of injecting yourself with the vaccine that now has killed people? One, per the VAERS report, that's a fact. Gives myocarditis, doesn't even work because people got COVID again, so it didn't even work. It had no studies. One. Two, the same people who scream about how a government shouldn't tell a woman what to do with their body, simultaneously in the same breath will be like, but it should be funded by the government. No, it shouldn't. That's very hypocritical. Pay for it yourself. Mm-hmm. Okay? I don't believe killing a baby is the same thing, and that's your right. I don't believe that's your right to kill a baby, right? I don't go in the street and kill someone and be like, I didn't like what he was doing and he disagreed with me, so I have the right to kill him. No. But now I see what you're talking about. If you want to go to the full libertarian perspective of not telling one, fine.
Excuse me.
And here's where I don't give a flying fuck anymore. Do it. Please, just do it. I don't agree with you, but do it. don't get any guilt. If you have any guilt, sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Deal
care.
with your consequences.
And for the love of God, folks, women are not second-class citizens in the United States of America. Stop with this argument. Stop with this moral high ground. That's what I would say.
Go to a third world country where they literally aren't. But so on the abortion topic, right? So I think do you think it's fair to kill someone?
No.
Okay. So as long
Hold
as
on though. Murder someone.
yes,
If someone is going to
we're not talking about self defense and all
Okay.
this. We're just talking about murder.
Yes.
Unprovoked. There's no reason to just do it.
Yes.
There's no caveat. Do you think it's okay to kill someone for no reason?
No.
Okay. I think even 99% of the people that are pro-abortion would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's always a 1% of crazy people. Okay, so we all agree, we're on the same page that you shouldn't be able to kill someone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the question then comes down to is, when is it killing someone? Well, if it's the baby's not born yet, it's not a person, I don't agree with that. I think the baby, at some point, becomes a living being. It just because it's still inside the woman does not mean it has no rights.
Yes.
That's my personal opinion. Now, I don't believe in late-term abortion at all. I think it's completely ridiculous. I'm sorry if you were one of those 1% that got raped or whatever, and you didn't know you were pregnant until that point. That is too late. That is too late. Now, the situation may be where you were, let's just say the 1% of the 1%, where you were held hostage, and the only time that you got out was when you were 8 months pregnant. Oh, I'm sorry. It's too late now at that point, and it sucks.
And look, I actually will even go as far as say, is like, yo, if you are one of those, like, if you actually legitimately got raped, and then it's like, all right, do the abortion early on, do it, like, because you don't want it, okay? That's your choice, fine. Yeah. But then here's the slippery slope. We know a lot of these fucking women these days, not all, will fucking do false rape claims.
Yeah.
So you don't know
that's
the crazy ones. That's a whole different.
That's a whole different rabbit hole.
But yes. But look, like what I'm trying to say is at this point, I don't care. Like you can disagree with me. You could think I don't care. I'm not trying to change your mind about this. This goes back to my not caring anymore. Do what you want at this point. Yeah. You do what you want. You reap what you sow. So. Yeah.
Well, my whole point is, I think the real distinguishing point is not killing someone. It's what is the line of when it's a person,
like a heartbeat,
and that's the conversation to have.
Yeah.
Not women's rights. Everyone deserves to have the same fucking rights. The conversation though is that because the woman wants to keep it, now the man has to deal with the consequences. Like that's kind of. I think it's one-sided in the ability to make that decision because she has to carry. Well, if he wants to keep it but she doesn't, now he has to deal with that too. I understand why, and the woman has to carry it, the guy doesn't. Okay, that's completely understandable. But if he wants it and she doesn't, now he's screwed. And let's say she wants it and he doesn't, he's still screwed.
Yeah, and look. Like I think of a lot of women, they get, all these. First of all, these stupid ass. Like these politicians and these celebrities who like feed the fire in the division. I feel like what these women is, they're trying to come from like some, like they feel attacked because they're like, oh well, the man doesn't have to do it because we have to bear it. It's like, dude, everyone who's against abortion, or at least to a certain point, doesn't like we're not taking the guy out of the picture here.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're focusing on the woman because you're the one who's bearing the child and holding the child in your stomach, right, in your body. But it's like, we're not going, bad mother. Oh, dude, you were going to be a deadbeat father. You forced her to get it. Yeah, good. High five. We're not doing that. Like, I am holding you as accountable as her.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not attacking you women. We're just saying, hey, you both fucked up in 99% of the cases. Like,
yeah.
Like,
do you believe in no abortion at all?
See, this is where I think, like, if you can have, like, legitimate proof that someone was raped or someone's going to die, they should be able to do it.
But you're saying, let's say, like, you had a one-night stand and she got pregnant and it's a month in. No?
That sucks.
You
is
still
there a
know?
heartbeat?
When's the heartbeat start?
I don't know, man. Dude, this is why I practice very safe. Like, over the top safe.
Please go into details.
No.
Between 5 and 6 weeks of pregnancy.
I don't know, man. I'm going to say no, and then if God forbid it ever happened, then I become no, dude. Like I don't want that to happen. I take measures. I take preventative action.
Yeah. So I mean, what about Plan B? The day after pill, morning after, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know. Is it even a fucking thing at that point?
So my whole philosophical belief is first a heartbeat. Okay. After there's a heartbeat, then it comes down to, okay, what is the reasoning behind this? Is there a good justifiable reason behind it? Okay, and then as you start approaching a certain window, it becomes less and less.
Yeah, I think heartbeat is fair. Because isn't it on? I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll let you go. But isn't it like some people up until the heartbeat they don't even know they're pregnant?
Yeah.
So how the hell are you going to get an abortion?
6 weeks. 6 weeks is still pretty early. So I think up till that point, it's no brainer. I think a lot of the hardcore religious people will say no, it's at conception. That's a hard sell for me. I think up to that point, it's 100% yes. I think then between that time and I don't know what it is, but at some point when I think my hard stop is when the fetus can be removed from the mother and survive medically on its own. Okay. Right. So, like, I know some people that their baby was delivered early and had to be in the NICU for a long period of time, right? Mm-hmm. If they can survive in the NICU, then I think then it's a hard no.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah,
right?
so like you're putting like some stand. Yeah,
I don't. There has to be. It's not just arbitrary shit. It's like, okay, if the baby, if the thing is developed to a certain point, at that point, what is the distinguishing factor? Okay, it can survive on its own in the NICU, or if it can be born early and survive on its own, that's a no-brainer. It's a living being. It has its own rights. You have to fight for the ability for it to survive.
So to answer your question, sure, I can go on with that. Yeah, I don't agree with abortion, but if you could do it beforehand, maybe that's better. I'm not sure, but here's the thing. One, I know that people listening to it who are pro-abortion aren't agreeing with this, and I'm fine with that. Like I said, I'm not trying to change your mind. Two, my problem though is all of these talking heads that we see on the TV who are either complicit and have participated in the sex trafficking with Epstein, or know people and do work for people who are doing it.
Fucking worked up on that topic.
No. I know. But what I'm saying is now they're the ones. What they're doing is they're separating us as the people between pro and anti-abortion. They don't even give a shit about kids.
Yeah,
they don't. So. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you got a good point. To go back to it to finish it off, unless you have more to say. I think that's a good point. I never thought about it that way. Conception thing, dude. My biggest thing is this: take preventative action. Now, people don't want to do that. Oh, you're gonna use a condom? I haven't used a condom since fucking 1942. It's like, all right, well, then when shit like this happens, bro, deal with it.
I think start with preventative, and then B. There's sometimes where, like, say you wear a condom and it breaks. There's other ways to prevent that from happening too. We don't need to go in vulgar details of things. Yeah. But if, say, the condom breaks and there was a mistake, that's what the Plan B is for. I think at that point, I don't see a moral obligation. Now that I'm not saying I'm fucking God here. But the other thing too is, like, I think we need to discourage having abortions be a solution. I think it's like going bankrupt, right? Bankruptcy is a solution to debt, but you should avoid it at all costs.
Yeah.
Like, if you have to get to the point in your life where you're going bankrupt, that sucks. I don't know what happened to you, but that sucks. And I'm sorry you have to go through that, but that should be last resort. And I think that's the same thing with abortions. Were you raped? That is last resort. That sucks. I'm sorry you're going through that. I hope that no one ever has to go through that, but the odds of that happening are low. But if you do, you have an option, and a viable option for an out of the long-term consequences of it. I understand that, but I don't like that it's people pro-abortion or actually being pro, like, encouraging it. I don't like the term pro because it's almost encouraging that that's the route you should go. No, you shouldn't. That's not the way to do it. That is, if something happens that shouldn't have, this is a possible solution.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Here's another thing to go down the rabbit hole, right? Remember the asking questions thing you said?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to...
Do it. Bring it.
No. Okay. Where are there the most abortion clinics?
Blue states?
Inner cities.
Oh, that too.
Do you know who was the one who founded abortion? The clinics?
I know it was Democrats. I forget who it was. Wasn't he a KKK member too?
Margaret Sanger.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot. The longest-serving Democratic senator was the KKK. I think it was the head of the KKK.
Byrd.
Yeah.
Byrd.
In case anyone's wondering that the white supremacists are the Republicans, it's actually the Democrats. Well, sorry. Let me rephrase that. It was the Democrats.
Yes.
I don't know what it is nowadays.
We're not saying, and by the way, whenever I talk politics or countries, when on this show for you guys, if I'm berating a country, I'm berating when I'm talking politics.
It's politics.
I'm berating the governments, not the people.
Yeah. If you can't understand that, then you're not having an honest conversation.
And just to clarify what Timmy said, he's not calling you, the viewer, a Democrat, a KKK member.
Nope,
No.
I'm not. I'm saying the politicians.
Yes,
that's why I said Burke, the longest running.
Bird.
Mm-hmm. Bird, not Bird.
Bird. I thought it was Bird. Robert Bird.
Bird. Yeah, Robert Bird.
Yeah,
Robert something. Whatever. You can look it up. He was a Democratic politician.
Yep.
That's who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Democrat supporters.
Yes. Now, here's the thing, though. Do you know who was the biggest supporter? And I think she was maybe founder is probably not the right word, but she had a huge influence. Is Margaret Sanger?
Yeah.
Do you know what Margaret Sanger compared black people to?
I forget what.
She in her quote.
Let's be very clear. Margaret Sanger
said
is saying this.
Not us. Margaret Sanger said that that in a quote comparing black people to weeds.
Yeah.
And is now putting inner city. Mm-hmm. Black people don't only live in the inner city, but a lot do. That's where the most clinics are. So if you want to go down a conspiracy rabbit hole there, that's some food for thought.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, too, is I think it's a big push on anti-family,
mm-hmm.
trying to break down the nuclear family that they say and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's right-wing fucking propaganda talk. It's talking points that we have.
Dude, look,
I'm just being facetious.
But like at this point, man, like I said, with all these laws and all this shit, like, yeah, I'm going to have my shit and I'm going to argue my opinion and I'm going to defend my opinion. But at the end of the day, I don't care what you really do as long as you're not hurting me or yourself.
Yeah.
And really hurting me, or I should say the ones I love, or hurting anyone in general.
Yeah.
That was a selfish thing, not just me. Me, my family, friends, or anyone else. If I'm like walking the street and I see you about to kill, like obviously that's what I'm saying, right? Don't hurt anyone else. But if you're doing something and you're not hurting and kids aren't involved, you know what I mean by that. I don't really give a fuck what you do. It's not my fucking business. Just like it's none of your business what the fuck I do. Thanks. All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, I'm good on that one. We're good. All right, folks, you got it. Thank you for everyone who gave the... I didn't want to say the people's names. Usually I like to shout people out because people like to get shouted out. When it came to those laws, I don't know if people wanted me to say
Yeah,
it
we
or
can
not.
keep this private.
We'll
If you
keep that
feel
one
like talking about it, you can go in the comments on the video and on Spotify. I think there's comments on Spotify too. You can go in the comments and call yourself out if you want.
Yeah, exactly. And
or you can go in and yell at us and tell us that we're a bunch of idiots talking on the microphone.
Exactly.
You're welcome to come on here and talk a bunch of idiot shit to us too. And join us.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't care. I really care at this point. Love it, guys. We will be back next week. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to We'll Take It From Here. Peace.